How is he getting the clues? You see, the story is building up. First he got the clue from the bulletin board. Everybody was crowded near that. Then the watcher, he told him, there is no need to hurry, you have plenty of time. Then as soon as he entered the campus, he saw there was no bustle, no commotion, everything was unbelievable. You can't believe your ears what you're listening. कि जो लैंग्वेज मेरी अपनी लैंग्वेज है जिसको मैं सीखना चाहता था पर सीख नहीं पाया और अब सीख भी नहीं पाऊंगा. How will that poor child जो बहुत उसको गुस्सैल लगता था, जो उसको बहुत बुरा लगता था, जिसकी डांट उसको अच्छी नहीं लगती थी, जिसके आयरन रूलर से उसको बहुत डर लगता था, आज वो टीचर भी उसको बहुत अच्छा लगने लग गया. Good morning students. I am going to give you the first lecture for 12th standard. The name of the book is Flamingo and the name of the first chapter of this book is the last lesson. Yes students. So your first lesson of English is the last lesson. Isn't it ironical? Yes it is. But this title of the lesson has been chosen very wisely. As you can see in the learning objectives which I mentioned over here, the learning objectives are that you will be able to understand the lesson, but at the same time you will be able to understand the importance of your own language. May it be your mother tongue, or like in the case of this lesson, we talk about the national language. How important is a national language for the citizens of that country? We will come to know by reading this lesson. So before we begin with the lesson, what I would suggest to you people is that if you have the book Flamingo, please take the book in your hands and open the lesson, because whenever we are talking about literature, may it be English or any other language, when the explanation of a lesson is going on, it is very important that the students should have the books in their hands, and when the teacher is reading from the book, the students should also side by side read the same text, and when the teacher is explaining it to them, then they should look towards the teacher. So these are two different things. While reading you have to look into your book, and while the explanation is going on you have to look at the teacher, so that with the gestures also you are able to be connected to the lesson very well. Second most important thing while reading a lesson is try to imagine yourself as a character in that lesson. In that way you will be able to connect to the story better. And here in case of this lesson, as you are students, I would request you to imagine yourself as Franz, which is the central character of this lesson, who is in a way narrating this lesson. So he is a student. So now once we start reading this lesson, you are Franz. The last lesson. This lesson talks about the Franco-Prussian War, which was fought during 1870 and 71. Prussia, if you talk about, it was the group of nations of Germany, Poland and parts of Austria, mainly dominated by Germany, and they fought a war against France. In this war, Prussians defeated France, and what happened after that because of this loss to Germany is explained in this lesson. So let's begin with the lesson. I started for school very late that morning and was in great dread of a scolding, especially because M here symbolizes monsieur. Monsieur means, as we say, sir, ma'am, master, miss. We address like this to our teachers, so they addressed to their teachers as monsieur. So Monsieur Hamel had said that he would question us on participles. If you don't know what participles, this is a very important element in this lesson. Participles are that aspect of grammar in which a verb acts as an adjective. Suppose I say standing at the door, he was looking for me to allow him to enter. So here standing is a verb, but it is describing the pronoun standing at the door, he was. So this standing is acting as participle. So Monsieur Hamel had said that he would question us on participles. Us means all the students. So that one day before, the homework was given to learn the rules of participles, and every student, including Franz, was supposed to prepare them because Monsieur Hamel was going to conduct an oral test in the class. And I did not know the first word about them, but Franz is not a very studious character. So he is like those students who want to delay the things as long as possible and who don't like to study much. So he is not prepared at all, as you can see. For a moment, I thought of running away and spending the day out of doors. It was so warm, so bright, the birds were jumping at the edge of the woods, and in the open field back of the sawmill, the Prussian soldiers were drilling. So he is describing the scene which was around. That was a very tempting scene because, as I told you already, he did not like to study much. So such kind of students are also always attracted by the natural scenes outside, which attract them and dissuade them from studies. So he also wants to have a look outside instead of being in the class, because partially he is not prepared also. It was all much more tempting than the rules for participles, but I had the strength to resist and hurried off to school. So this is the second aspect of Franz's nature. He doesn't want to study. The scenes outdoor are tempting him, but still he has the willpower to resist those scenes, and he decides to go to the school and attend the class. When I passed the town hall, there was a crowd in front of the bulletin board. During those days, there were bulletin boards placed at the prominent places in the town, where there will be some notices pasted, and most of the times it will be information related to the war. So on that bulletin board, there was a great crowd. For the last 2 years, all our bad news had come from there. So you can imagine, when your country is in a war and you are losing the battles, obviously you will be getting the bad news. So for last 2 years, all the bad news was pasted on the notice board, and the citizens of that city read those news and came to know where all they have been defeated. The lost battles, the draft, the orders of the commanding officer, and I thought to myself, without stopping, what can be the matter now? So he is in a hurry to go to school, but at the same time he got curious to know what is the matter. Why are people crowded near the bulletin board? There must be some bad news, but he doesn't have the time to stand there, stop and read the news. Then, as I hurried by, as fast as I could go, the blacksmith watcher who was there with his apprentice reading the bulletin called after me. So there was a blacksmith of that city, his name is Watcher, and he was there with his apprentice. Apprentice means the learner, the one who is learning the art from the teacher. So he called him, "Don't go so fast, bum, you'll get to your school in plenty of time." कोई जरूरत नहीं है जल्दी भागने की, बहुत टाइम पड़ा है तुम्हारे पास, तुम आराम से स्कूल पहुंच जाओगे. This is what he meant to say. I thought he was making fun of me and reached Monsieur Hamel's little garden all out of breath. Usually when the school began, there was a great bustle which could be heard out in the street, the opening and closing of the desks. So I will first explain the meaning of this bustle. Usually when the school began, there was a great bustle. Lot of movement, हलचल बहुत ज़्यादा होती थी, because school जैसे ही आपने भी देखा होगा, when the school bell rings, चाहे opening की या closing की, children move in and out of the classrooms. So there is a lot of bustle at that time. The opening and closing of the desks. At that time, the desks in his classroom, particular desks, had that lid sort of thing which had to be opened and closed in order to put in or take out the notebooks and books. So opening and closing of the desks, lessons repeated in unison. Unison means all together. You must have seen when the students are asked to read a chapter, they read all together in the class. So it is in unison, एक साथ सारे के सारे. Very loud with our hands over our ears to understand better. Now when everybody reads in unison, obviously it is very loud. So he says that we have to keep our hands on our ears in order to understand better. This is the usual atmosphere of Mr. Hamill's class, जो होता था आमतौर पर. And the teacher's great ruler rapping on the table. Now obviously when there is a great bustle in the class and there is loud noise of the lesson being repeated in unison, तो teacher क्या करेगा बेचारा? He had his ruler, so he will keep rapping it on the table. Order, 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 like the judges do. So Mr. Hamill would also have had to do this thing time and again in order to maintain order in the class, peace in the class. So this was the usual atmosphere which he was habitual of seeing every day. I'm talking about friends. But now it was all so still. अब एकदम से contrast हो गया. It is all so still now. So if you were friends, won't you be surprised कि क्या हो गया अचानक से? इतना शोर शराबा होता था और अचानक से इतनी शांति कैसे हो गई? I had counted on the commotion to get to my desk without being seen. But of course, that day everything had to be quiet as Sunday morning. Now, naughty student, he knew कि जब क्लास में शोर शराबा मचा होता है, तो teacher might be busy in keeping the students quiet, so he might get a chance to sneak through. छुपा के उस commotion का फायदा उठा के अपने बैक सीट पे जाकर बैठ जाएगा और टीचर को पता भी नहीं चलेगा. But today there was no commotion. वहाँ पे वो शोर शराबा था ही नहीं. Everything was silent as Sunday morning. Sunday morning is supposed to be a morning when the people go to church. So there is supposed to be peace at that time. इसलिए he is referring कि Sunday morning जैसा शांति है. Through the window, I saw my classmates already in their places and Mr. Hamill walking up and down with a terrible ruler, iron ruler under his arm. तो teacher normally जैसे जेलर साहब जाते हैं अपनी आर्म के नीचे अपना आयरन रूलर लेके he was standing over there. This friend saw through the window. He was just checking through the window that is there a possibility to sneak through because of commotion or not. I had to open the door and go in before everybody. And now because everybody was so silent and still, so friends had to open the door and to go before everybody. अंदर जाने के लिए सबसे आगे से होकर उसको गुजरना पड़ा. Everybody saw him. You can imagine now how I blushed and how frightened I was. Blushed means जब आप शर्म से या डर के मारे आपका चेहरा लाल हो जाता है, लाली आ जाती है नेचुरल. So that glow, that reddish tinge is called blush. So he was blushed and frightened at the same time. उसको शर्म भी महसूस हो रही थी. Why? Because he was late and he was frightened also. But nothing happened. Mr. Hamill saw me and said very kindly, "Go to your place quickly, little friends. We were beginning without you." कि हम तो तुम्हारे बिना ही शुरू करने जा रहे थे. जाओ अपनी सीट पर बैठ जाओ. And this was very surprising for friends. Mr. Hamill otherwise was supposed to be very angry, like the reference has been given to his iron ruler. So the man who was very angry today, he was very calm and cool. And डांटने की बजाय he simply said, जाओ अपनी सीट पर बैठ जाओ. But I jumped over the bench and sat down at my desk. Not till then, when I had got a little over my fright, did I see that our teacher had on his beautiful green coat, his frilled shirt and the little black silk cap all embroidered that he never wore except on the inspection and prize days. तो जैसे जैसे उसका डर थोड़ा खत्म हुआ, he also got a little calm. He noticed that Mr. Hamel, his teacher, was wearing his special dress which he used to wear only on the special occasions. So again he got some clue that there is something wrong, something strange. How is he getting the clues? You see, the story is building up. First he got the clue from the bulletin board. Everybody was crowded near that. Then the watcher, he told him, there is no need to hurry, you have plenty of time. Then as soon as he entered the campus, he saw there was no bustle, no commotion, everything was still. And now Mr. Hamel, Mr. Hamel, he did not scold him for getting late. And at last he noticed that he is wearing his special dress. So this is the whole sequence which is giving him clues that there is something strange. What is strange? We will come to know now. Besides, the whole school seems so strange and solemn. He is wearing his special dress, and side by side the whole school is so strange and solemn. Solemn means गंभीर, बहुत ही serious हैं सारे के सारे. But the thing that surprised me most was to see on the back benches that were always empty, the villagers' people sitting quietly like ourselves. So that was a classroom. The students were supposed to be there. Now he saw the most surprising thing that the last benches, normally वो benches हमेशा खाली ही रहते थे, but today on those benches there were village people sitting. So in a day, how many surprises he is getting? The old Hauser with his three-cornered hat, the former mayor, the former postmaster, and several others beside. So these are the people who were sitting over there. Everybody looked sad, and Hauser had brought an old primer, thumbed at the edges. Primer is, like in Hindi we say, kaita, kata, something like that. The very initial book which is given to the kindergarten children, nursery or pre-nursery, which talks about alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, 1, 2, 3, A, say A, like this. So that is called a primer, which gives very basic information about a language. So Hauser was holding his primer in his hands, thumbed at the edges. Thumb means यहाँ से जैसे वो मुड़ जाते हैं pages, we call it thumbed at the edges. It happens with the old books. जैसे जैसे books पुरानी होती हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा यूज़ करते हैं, तो उनके pages के corners मुड़ जाते हैं. Thumbed at the edges, and he had it open on his knees with his great spectacles lying across the pages. So he had opened on his knees और spectacles उसने pages के ऊपर अपनी spectacles रखी हुई थी weight डालने के लिए. While I was wondering about it all, Mr. Hamel mounted his chair and in the same grave and gentle tone which he had used to me, said, "My children, this is the last lesson I shall give you." So Mr. Hamel sat in his chair और जैसे serious tone में उन्होंने friends को बोला था, "Go and take your seat," उसी serious tone में he said, "My friends, this is the last lesson I shall give you. The order has come from Berlin to teach only German in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. The new master comes tomorrow. This is your last French lesson. I want you to be very attentive." I will read these sentences again. Try to listen to these sentences very carefully and try to understand what is going through the mind of the teacher who is going to deliver his last lesson and who knows that tomorrow onward he will not be teaching the French language to his countrymen anymore, and there will be new master coming in teaching them German. "My children, this is the last lesson I shall give you. The order has come from Berlin to teach only German in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. The new master comes tomorrow. this is your last French lesson. I want you to be very attentive. So, because they were defeated, so German, they had taken over the districts of Alsace and Lorraine, and we are talking about Alsace. So the orders had come that tomorrow onward, because now you people are not French anymore, now you are Germans, so French language will not be taught to you, only and only German language will have to be taught to you, and you will have to learn that language, because we want to make you realize that we have conquered you and you are German people, not French people. What a thunderclap these words to me. Thunderclap means जब बिजली कड़कती है, चमकती है, किसी के ऊपर गिरती है, या इन हिंदी लैंग्वेज जैसे वज्रपात हो जाना, एकदम से कुठाराघात हो जाना. Such words are used for thunderclap. एकदम से unbelievable. You can't believe your ears what you are listening to. Then we say thunderclap. Oh, the wretches! That was what they had put up at the town hall. Wretches means कमबख्त, बुरे लोग. He is cursing them now, German people. तो वो लिख रखा था उन्होंने, ये नोटिस लगाया था उन्होंने टाउन हॉल पे, इसीलिए वहाँ पे बहुत सारे लोग इकट्ठे हुए थे. That's why there was a great crowd over there. तो बुलेटिन बोर्ड पे क्या लिखा था और क्यों लिखा था, ये उसको अब समझ में आया. My last French lesson. My last French lesson. Why? I hardly knew how to write. I should never learn anymore. I must stop there. Then, a boy who was not serious for studies, as France is, who had not learnt his own language till now. He did not know how to read his language, how to write his language, and now he suddenly comes to know that he will not get an opportunity in future as well. We human beings have this tendency, we keep delaying the things. कोई बात नहीं कल कर लेंगे, कोई बात नहीं कल कर लेंगे. But you see, वो कल वाला जो attitude था is costing him now. Now he knows कि जो language मेरी अपनी language है, जिसको मैं सीखना चाहता था, पर सीख नहीं पाया और अब सीख भी नहीं पाऊंगा. How will that poor child be thinking? Just imagine. Oh, how sorry I was for not learning my lesson, for seeking birds' eggs or going sliding on the sand. Lessons जब क्लास में चल रहे होते थे तो छोड़ के वो leisure activities के लिए चला जाता था. Now he is repenting for that. He is feeling sorry for that. My books that had seemed such a nuisance a while ago, so heavy to carry, my grammar and my history of the saints were old friends now. That I couldn't give up. जो बुक्स उसको कैरी करने के लिए हैवी लगती थी, जिनको वो कैरी करना नहीं चाहता था कभी भी क्लास में, आज वो बुक्स उसको अपनी बहुत पुरानी फ्रेंड्स लग रही थी, जिनको वो किसी भी कीमत पे छोड़ना नहीं चाहता था. But now, tomorrow onward, he will not be carrying those books of French language. He will be carrying the books of German language. And Monsieur Hamel too, the idea that he was going away, that I should never see him again, made me forget all about his ruler and how cranky he was. All of a sudden, जिन चीज़ों को वो अच्छा नहीं समझता था, जिनसे प्यार नहीं करता था, जिनसे कनेक्टेड नहीं था, जिनसे उसको नफरत थी, वो सारी की सारी चीज़ें उसको प्यारी लगनी शुरू हो गई. Why? Because he knows that he is going to lose all those things. ये ह्यूमन नेचर है. जब तक कोई चीज़ हमारे पास होती है तो हम उसकी कदर नहीं करते हैं. बट व्हेन वी नो दैट वी आर अबाउट टू लूज दैट थिंग, तो अचानक से उन सब चीज़ों की कदर होनी शुरू हो जाती है. तो सिमिलरली ऑल दोज बुक्स, और बुक से भी बढ़ के मॉन्सियर हेमल, वो टीचर जो बहुत उसको गुस्सैल लगता था, जो उसको बहुत बुरा लगता था, जिसकी डांट उसको अच्छी नहीं लगती थी, जिसके आयरन रूलर से उसको बहुत डर लगता था, आज वो टीचर भी उसको बहुत अच्छा लगने लग गया है और उसको खोने का डर उसको सता रहा है. Monsieur Hammer too, the idea that he was going away that I should never see him again made me forget all about his ruler and how cranky he was. Cranky means बहुत संकी, बहुत गुस्सा है. You can note on this word also. This is the important characteristic of MML. वो पहले कैसा था. Now he says, I wanted to forget all the past bad experiences and I wanted to find Mr. Hamel as a good friend of mine. Poor man, it was in honor of this last lesson that he had put on his fine Sunday clothes. And now I understood why the old man of the village was sitting there in the back of the room. अब उसको समझ आया कि वो सारे के सारे जो elderly people हैं विलेज के वो क्यों बैठे हुए हैं वहाँ पे. Because they also know this is the last French lesson. It was because they were sorry too that they had not gone to school anymore. वो लोग वो थे, उनमें से ज़्यादातर लोग ऐसे थे जिन्होंने स्कूल में ज़्यादा स्टडीज़ नहीं की थी. लाइक ऑसर के बारे में वी हैव स्टडीड दैट ही हैड ब्रॉट हिज प्राइमर. तो प्राइमर कहता वही लेके आएगा जिसने उससे ज़्यादा पढ़ाई नहीं की हुई है. तो दे वर ऑल्सो सॉरी लाइक फ्रेंड्स कि हम लोगों ने अच्छे से पढ़ाई क्यों नहीं की. It was their way of thanking our master for his 40 years of faithful service and of showing their respect for the country that was theirs no more. तो ये एक तरीका था उस मास्टर के लिए, मिस्टर हैमल के लिए रिस्पेक्ट जतलाने का और उस देश के लिए कृतज्ञता का भाव जतलाने का जो देश अब उनका नहीं था. The country which was theirs no more. France was their country no more. Just try to understand the kind of agony which those people, including France and Monsieur Hamel, might have been going through. कितना दुख, कितना दर्द हो रहा होगा उन लोगों को जब उनको पता चला कि आज से वो फ्रेंच नहीं है, आज से वो जर्मन हो चुके हैं, आज से वो जर्मनी के गुलाम हो चुके हैं. This is the psychology. While I was thinking of all this, I heard my name called. It was my turn to recite. So Mr. Hamel was giving turns to everybody. Now it was this Franz's turn. So Franz was asked to recite the rules of participles. What would I not have given to be able to say that dreadful rule for the participle all through, very loud and clear and without one mistake. जो चाहे मेरे से मांग लो. भगवान आज मुझे बोलता कि मैं तेरी सबसे कीमती चीज तेरे से मांगना चाहता हूँ और बदले में तू मेरे से क्या मांगेगा. तो मैं मांगूंगा कि भगवान मुझे आज ये पार्टिसिपल का रूल्स फ्लॉलेसली बिना किसी मिस्टेक के वेरी लाउड एंड क्लियर बोलने के लायक बना दो. He wanted to do this. He wanted to recite that rule very loud and clear without a mistake. But how could he? He did not know how to read and write and speak also. Just I will repeat once again. What would I not have given to be able to say that dreadful rule of the participle? वो dreadful rule जिससे मैं सारी उम्र डरता रहा, जो मुझे डराता था, इतना बुरा rule. All through, पूरे का पूरा, very loud and clear, बहुत ऊंची आवाज में और साफ आवाज में, and without one mistake. क्या नहीं कुर्बान कर देता मैं इस चीज के लिए. But I got mixed up on the first words and stood there. शुरुआती वर्ड्स में ही mixed up हो गया. उसको आता ही नहीं था. He just kept standing like this. शर्मिंदा तो पहले से ही था, अब और ज्यादा शर्मिंदा हुआ था. Holding on to my desk, my heart beating and not daring to look up. Like I told you in the beginning, imagine yourself as France. जो थंडर क्लैप उसने सुनी है, उसके ऊपर जो वज्रपात हुआ है, और उसके बाद he dearly wants to decide the rules of participles, but he can't. Imagine how will you react? He's just standing like this, and he can't dare to look up because he knows it's his fault. I heard Monsieur Hamel say to me, I won't scold you little friends, you must feel bad enough. मैं नहीं तुम्हें डांटूंगा, तुम ऑलरेडी बहुत बुरा महसूस कर रहे होगे। Monsieur Hamel knows this thing कि फ्रांस के दिल पे इस समय क्या बीत रही है। See how it is. Every day we have said to ourselves, I have plenty of time. I'll learn it tomorrow. And now you see where we have come out. As I told you, human nature होती है, बहुत टाइम पड़ा हुआ है, कल करेंगे, कल करेंगे। You students of 12th class also sometimes act like this. अभी बहुत टाइम पड़ा फाइनल एग्जाम्स में, बाद में तैयारी करेंगे। But you can never be sure about that tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. You have to live in present. And this is what he's saying कि गलती क्या थी? गलती यही थी कि हम यही सोचते रहे बहुत टाइम पड़ा हुआ है, अभी क्या जरूरत है, आराम से फ्रेंच लैंग्वेज सीखेंगे। बट विल यू बी एबल टू लर्न फ्रेंच लैंग्वेज नाउ? एंड नाउ यू सी वेयर वी हैव कम आउट. That's the great trouble with Alsace. She puts off learning till tomorrow. When he's talking about Alsace, he's talking about all the people of Alsace. Alsace की प्रॉब्लम ही यही है कि वो हर चीज को कल पे टाल देती है। ये सिर्फ तुम्हारी नहीं, सारे के सारे Alsace वालों की प्रॉब्लम है, and I'm including myself into that. How? Now those fellows out there will have the right to say to you, how is it you pretended to be a Frenchman and yet you can neither speak nor write your own language? अब जो लोग आएंगे, जो जर्मन्स आएंगे, वो तुम्हें टॉन्ट करेंगे। फ्रेंचमैन बोलते हो खुद को, फ्रेंच लैंग्वेज पढ़नी, बोलने, लिखनी तो आती नहीं है, काहे के फ्रेंचमैन हो? Now you will have to listen to all that. How is it you pretend to be Frenchman and yet you can neither speak nor write your own language? But you are not the worst. Poor little friends, we have all a great deal to reproach ourselves with. तुम अकेले नहीं हो जो इस टाइम पे बुरा महसूस कर रहा है। जिसने गलती की है, हम सब ने गलती की है, और हम सबको अपने आप पे शर्मिंदा होने की ज़रूरत है। हमें अपनी निंदा करने की ज़रूरत है। रिप्रोच मीन्स खुद की निंदा या बुराई या खुद के अंदर कमी निकालना। हमें अपनी कमियां रियलाइज करने की ज़रूरत है, अपने आप को धिक्कारने की ज़रूरत है हमें। Your parents were not anxious enough to have you learn. सबसे पहला फॉल्ट तुम्हारे पेरेंट्स का, जिनको कोई ज़्यादा टेंशन, चिंता नहीं थी कि तुम्हारी पढ़ाई हो रही है या नहीं हो रही है। They preferred to put you to work on a farm or the mills. उन्होंने क्या प्रेफर किया कि स्कूल जाने के बजाय तुम खेतों में काम करो, मिल में जाके काम करो, तो 4 पैसे कमा के लाओ। आज भी ऐसा होता है इंडिया में। Still, the students who study in government schools, I have got the experience. टीचर्स को घर जा जाके, खेतों पे जा जाके पकड़ पकड़ के बच्चे लाने पड़ते हैं, स्कूल में बिठाने पड़ते हैं। Neither the children want to come to the school like friends, not their parents want them to study in the school. They prefer them earning something. यही फ्रेंड्स के पेरेंट्स भी करते हैं। They preferred to put you to work on a farm or at the mills so as to have a little more money. And I have been to blame also. मैं खुद को भी blame करता हूँ। Have I not often sent you to water my flowers instead of learning your lessons? तो Monsieur Hamel उसको पौधों को पानी देने के लिए भेज देते थे अक्सर जब क्लास चल रही होती थी। Now he realizes that also. He says कि I am also to be blamed. Have I not often sent you to water my flowers instead of learning your lessons? And when I wanted to go fishing, did I not just give you a holiday? और जब तुम्हें मेरा फिशिंग के लिए, आउटिंग के लिए, पिकनिक के लिए कहीं जाने का मूड होता था तो मैं तुम लोग को छुट्टी दे देता था। कोई चेक करने वाला तो था ही नहीं वहाँ पे, तो मास्टर जी की मर्जी पूरी चलती थी, बच्चों को हॉलीडे दे देते थे। Then from one thing to another, Monsieur Hamel went on to talk of the French language. फिर Monsieur Hamel फ्रेंच लैंग्वेज के बारे में बात करने लगे, saying that it was the most beautiful language in the world, the clearest, the most logical, and we must guard it among us and never forget it. Because, ये because पे मैं थोड़ा सा पॉज लूँगा, क्योंकि इसके बाद वाली जो सेंटेंस, जो लाइन Monsieur Hamel ने बोली, वो हर एक कंट्री, हर एक देश, उसके देशवासियों पे लागू होती है। लैंग्वेज की इंपॉर्टेंस क्या है, इस चैप्टर का पूरा सार इस अगले एक सेंटेंस में है। तो बिफोर दैट आई विल रीड वंस अगेन व्हाट ही सेड अबाउट लैंग्वेज। इट वाज द मोस्ट ब्यूटीफुल लैंग्वेज इन द वर्ल्ड, द क्लियरेस्ट, द मोस्ट लॉजिकल, that we must guard it among us and never forget it. कि दुनिया की सबसे अच्छी लैंग्वेज है, सबसे साफ सुथरी है, सबसे लॉजिकल है और हमें इसकी रक्षा करनी है। हम फ्रेंचमैन को इस लैंग्वेज को जिंदा रखना है, इसे प्रोटेक्ट करना है। क्यों? Because when a people are enslaved, as long as they hold fast to their language, it is as if they had the key to their prison. Listen to this line once again. As I said, this line has the soul of this chapter. इस चैप्टर की पूरी आत्मा इस एक लाइन के अंदर है। When a people are enslaved, as long as they hold fast to their language, it is as if they had the key to their prison. जब कोई किसी देश को गुलाम बना लिया जाता है, उस पर कब्जा कर लिया जाता है, जब उसके लोगों को गुलाम बना लिया जाता है, तो जब तक वो गुलाम, वो लोग अपनी भाषा को नहीं छोड़ते, अपनी भाषा की रक्षा करते हैं, अपनी भाषा बोलते हैं, लिखते हैं, पढ़ते हैं, तब तक उस गुलामी की कैद से निकलने की चाबी उनके हाथ में होती है। वो ज़ील, वो पैशन, आज़ादी के लिए वो जोश उनके अंदर हमेशा जागृत रहता है, जब तक वो अपनी भाषा को नहीं छोड़ते। और इसका उल्टा, जब वो अपनी भाषा छोड़ देते हैं, जब वो उस देश की भाषा बोलने लग जाते हैं जिसने उन पर कब्जा किया था, तो वो अपने आप को गुलाम मान लेते हैं, तो वो आज़ादी के लिए प्रयास भी नहीं करते, तो उनके हाथ से वो जेल की चाबी, उस कैद की चाबी हमेशा हमेशा के लिए खो जाती है। नाउ यू रिलेट दिस इंसिडेंट टू लॉर्ड मैकॉले's एजुकेशन सिस्टम। जब इंडिया को गुलाम बनाना था और ज़्यादा देर के लिए गुलाम रखना था, तो लॉर्ड मैकॉले ने भी इंडियन एजुकेशन सिस्टम में बदलाव लाए और उन्होंने भी इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज को बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस देनी शुरू की इंडिया में, ताकि इंडियंस अपनी लैंग्वेज भूल जाएं और वो गुलामी की बीड़ियों में लंबे समय तक जकड़े रहें। चलो, दैट्स पास्ट, दैट्स हिस्ट्री। उनकी वो विश ज़्यादा देर तक पूरी नहीं हुई। हम भारतीयों ने अपनी भाषा को भी जीवित रखा, उसको प्रोटेक्ट किया, और रीज़न बीइंग आज आप देख सकते हैं, वी आर फ्री। सो once again I will repeat this line so that you can understand once again. Because when a people are enslaved, as long as they hold fast to their language, it is as if they had the key to their prison. Then he opened a grammar and read us our lesson. I was amazed to see how well I understood it. All he said seems so easy I think too, that I had never listened so carefully and that he had never explained everything with so much patience. और इसके बाद जब मिस्टर हैमल ने अपना लेसन एक्सप्लेन करना शुरू किया, तो फ्रेंड्स को इतनी अच्छी तरीके से समझ आया, उसको इतना आसान लगा कि उसको लगा कि या तो मैंने पहले कभी इतना ध्यान दे के सुना ही नहीं, या कभी इतने अच्छे तरीके से मॉन्सिर हैमल ने पहले एक्सप्लेन ही नहीं किया। क्यों हो रहा था ऐसा? बिकॉज आज उसके मन में सीखने की इच्छा थी, आज वो खुद सीखना चाहता था, इसलिए उसको सब कुछ समझ आ रहा था। और मॉन्सिर हैमल के अंदर भी इच्छा थी कि आज वो अपना बेस्ट पॉसिबल लेसन डिलीवर करें, बिकॉज इट इज द लास्ट लेसन। It seemed almost as if the poor man wanted to give us all he knew before going away and to put it all into our heads at one stroke. ऐसा लग रहा था कि जैसे सारा का सारा ज्ञान जितना है मॉन्सिर हैमल के अंदर था, वो आज उसको उनके माइंड में, उनके सिर में, दिमाग में डाल देना चाहते थे एक ही बार में। After the grammar we had a lesson in writing. That day Mr. Hamel had new copies for us written in a beautiful round hand, France essays, France essays. New copies दी उनको जिसके ऊपर France essays लिखा था। They looked like little flags floating everywhere in the schoolroom, hung from the rod at the top of our desk. You ought to have seen how everyone set to work and how quiet it was. पूरा एटमॉस्फेयर ही बदला हुआ था उस रूम का। न्यू कॉपीज सबकी अपने अपने डेस्क पे पड़ी हैं और एवरीबॉडी इज busy and it was very quiet. The only sound that was there was the scratching of the pens over the paper. जिसको बोलते हैं ना पिन ड्रॉप साइलेंस, पिन भी गिरे तो आवाज आ जाए, उस दिन उस तरह की साइलेंस थी उस क्लास में। और सिर्फ आवाज आ रही थी तो किस चीज की? पेन से जब वो कॉपी पे लिख रहे थे तो उसकी स्क्रैचिंग की आवाज आ रही थी। इतनी ज्यादा साइलेंस थी क्लास में। Once some beetles flew in, but nobody paid any attention to them. Not even the littlest ones who worked right on tracing their fish books as if that was French too. क्लास में होता है अक्सर ऐसा, कोई बीटल्स, कोई मक्खी कुछ आ जाए तो सारे शोर मचाने लग जाते हैं, जानबूझ के अटेंशन डाइवर्ट करने की कोशिश करते हैं। बट उस दिन nobody wanted their attention to be diverted. Even the little ones, छोटे छोटे बच्चे जो ड्राइंग कर रहे थे, वो इतना सीरियसली ड्राइंग कर रहे थे कि ऐसे लग रहा था जैसे वो फ्रेंच में ड्राइंग कर रहे हैं। ये एटमॉस्फेयर था क्लास का। On the roof, the pigeons cooed very low. कबूतर छत पे बहुत धीमी आवाज में गुटगुट कर रहे थे। And I thought to myself, ये लाइन फिर से बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है जो इसके बाद आ रही है। And I thought to myself, will they make them sing in German? Even the pigeons. कोई देश दूसरे देश पे कब्जा कर लेता है, उस देश की प्रॉपर्टी पे कब्जा कर लेता है, उस देश के इंसानों को गुलाम बना लेता है, पर क्या वो उस देश की हवा, पानी, मिट्टी और जानवरों को भी गुलाम बना सकता है? पशु पक्षियों को गुलाम बना सकता है, कीट परिंदों को गुलाम बना सकता है? क्या ऐसा हो सकता है? ये क्वेश्चन आया है फ्रेंड्स के दिमाग में कि क्या वो इन कबूतरों को भी जर्मन लैंग्वेज में गुटरगुम करने के लिए मजबूर कर सकते हैं, जैसे वो हमें फ्रेंच की जगह जर्मन बोलने के लिए मजबूर करते हैं। Whenever I looked up from my writing, I saw Mr. Hamel sitting motionless in his chair and gazing first at one thing, then at another, and as if he wanted to fix in his mind just how everything looked in that little school room. खुद सोच के देखो, आप एक जगह पे 40 साल से रह रहे हो, उस जगह के साथ आपका इतना ज़्यादा प्यार है, लगाव है, and when all of a sudden you have to leave that thing, वही मॉन्सिर हैमल के साथ हो रहा है। He says, फ्रेंच says कि जब भी मैं लिखते लिखते नज़र उठाता था तो मॉन्सिर हैमल कभी एक चीज़ को देख रहे हैं, कभी दूसरी चीज़ को देख रहे हैं, गेज घूर रहे हैं, बहुत ध्यान से देख रहे हैं, जैसे वो उस हर इमेज को अपने माइंड में, अपने मन में छाप लेना चाहते हैं before he leaves that. Fancy, for 40 years he had been there in the same place with his garden outside the windows and his class in front of him. 40 साल उस इंसान ने वहीं बताए हैं। बाहर गार्डन था, outside his window and his class in front of him. अपने आगे बच्चे जिनको वो 40 साल से देख रहे थे आते जाते। Just like that, only the desks and benches had been worn smooth. कुछ नहीं बदला था 40 साल में, सिर्फ डेस्क बेंच वो फर्नीचर हैड बीन worn smooth. Worn means wear and tear के बाद जैसे हम यूज़ करते हैं ऊपर ज़्यादा किसी चीज़ को तो वो थोड़ी स्मूथ हो जाती है, तो इस तरह से वो स्मूथ हो गए थे। The walnut trees in the gardens were taller. और क्या चीज़ बदली थी? वॉलनट ट्रीज जो लगाए थे अखरोट के वो बड़े हो गए थे। एंड द होप वाइन दैट ही हैड प्लांटेड हिमसेल्फ ट्वाइंड अबाउट द विंडोज ऑफ द रूफ। होप एक प्लांट का नाम है, बेल है ये होप वाइन, तो वो बेल भी विंडोज के साथ चढ़ के लंबी हो गई हुई थी। हाउ इट मस्ट हैव ब्रोकन हिज हार्ट टू लीव इट ऑल, पोर मैन, कितना दुख हो रहा होगा इन सब चीज़ों को, अपने हाथों से एक एक चीज़ उसने बनाई है, लाई है, उनको छोड़कर जाने में उसको कितना दुख हो रहा होगा। To hear his sister moving about in the room above, packing their trunks, for they must leave the country next day. कल ही उनको छोड़ के जाना है। But he had the courage to hear every lesson to the very last. After the writing, we had a lesson in history. But he had the courage to hear every lesson to very last. हर लेसन को एंड तक सीखने की, सुनने की आज हिम्मत आ गई हुई थी फ्रेंड्स के अंदर भी। इसके बाद हिस्ट्री का लेसन हुआ। एंड द बेबीज चैंटेड देयर बा बी बी बो बो, छोटे छोटे बच्चे जिनको बोलना तक नहीं आता वो भी यूनिसन में फ्रेंच लैंग्वेज बोलने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। डाउन देयर एट द बैक ऑफ द रूम ओल्ड हॉजर हैड पुट ऑन हिज स्पेक्टिकल्स एंड होल्डिंग हिज प्राइमर इन बोथ हैंड्स। अब उसने हॉजर ने जो स्पेक्टिकल्स रखी हुई थी पहले वो पहन ली हैं और वो प्राइमर पढ़ने की कोशिश कर रहा है। स्पेड द लेटर्स विद देम, किसके साथ पढ़ रहा है? उन बच्चों के साथ। जैसे वो बच्चे बोल रहे हैं वैसे ही हॉजर भी प्राइमर पढ़ने की कोशिश कर रहा है। You could see that he too was crying. His voice trembled with emotion, and it was so funny to hear him that we all wanted to laugh and cry. Just see the emotions. The way hॉजर was reading, कोई और दिन होता तो हंस हंस के, जैसे बोलते हैं पेट में दर्द हो जाता, वो उस तरह से पढ़ रहा था। बट आज उस वे ऑफ रीडिंग पे भी उनको हंसी से ज्यादा रोना आ रहा था, क्योंकि हॉजर खुद भी रोते रोते वो प्राइमर पढ़ रहा था। He was crying from within, and to see him reading like that, Franz says, we also wanted to laugh and cry at the same time. Just imagine the emotions which they all were going through. You could see that he too was crying, his voice trembled with emotion, and it was so funny to hear him that we all wanted to laugh and cry. Ah, how well I remember it, that last lesson. कभी भूल नहीं पाऊंगा मैं उस last lesson. All at once the church clock struck 12, then the Angelus, 12 बजे, और उसके बाद प्रार्थना का टाइम था। At the same moment, the trumpets of the Prussians returning from drill sounded under our windows. Prussians अपनी ड्रिल करके, एक्सरसाइज करके वापस आ रहे थे, और उनकी ट्रम्पेट्स की आवाज़, उनके बाजे की आवाज़ विंडोज के थ्रू उनको सुनाई दी। Mr. Hemmel stood up, very pale in his chair. I never saw him look so tall. पीला पड़ गया था वो, दुख के साथ। Pale means चेहरा पीला पड़ जाना। He stood up, और he says, Frank says कि मुझे आज से पहले वो इतने बड़े, इतने लंबे, इतने ऊंचे कद के कभी दिखाई नहीं दिए। आज उनका कद एकदम से बहुत ऊंचा हो गया था। Why? Because he was a true patriot and he wanted his language, his French language, to live forever, to survive forever, and he would do anything for his own language. तो उस रिस्पेक्ट ने जो उनके दिलों में आज पैदा हो गई थी, मिस्टर हैमल का कद बहुत ऊंचा कर दिया था उन सबकी नजर में। My friends, said he, I, बस, he wanted to say something. Mr. Hemmel wanted to say something, but I से ज्यादा उनके मुंह से कुछ नहीं निकला। But something choked him. He could not go on. Choke means जैसे गले में कुछ फंस गया होता है। He wanted to say something, my friends. I. That's all. He could not utter anything after that. Then he turned to the blackboard, took a piece of chalk, and bearing on with all his might, he wrote as large as he could. तब उन्होंने एक टर्म बोर्ड की तरफ मुड़े, उनके अंदर हिम्मत नहीं बची थी. That might, that strength, he did not have it anymore. But जितनी भी थी, उस सारी might को इकट्ठा करके, he wrote very big and bold on the board. And what did he write? Vive la France. It's in French language, जिसका मतलब है Long live France. France जिंदाबाद. जैसे हम लोग बोलते हैं भारत जिंदाबाद, हिंदुस्तान जिंदाबाद. He wrote it. France जिंदाबाद in his own language. Then he stopped and leaned his head against the wall, and without a word, he made a gesture to us with his hand. School is dismissed. You might go. Like this, he leaned against his board and just with a gesture, he said, "You may go," because it's all over. The era of French language is over in Alsace now. This was the last lesson which I had to deliver. Being a teacher myself, I can just imagine the pain Mr. Hamel might have been going through. And I hope I have been able to do justice with the lesson, and you all have understood the kind of feelings and emotions which are there in this lesson. And I hope our learning objectives have been met. You have understood the lesson as well as the importance of your own language. And remember, as long as you hold fast to your language, you hold the key to your prison. Now, what I would request all of you is, go through this lesson once again, read it well, understand it, and then try to answer the questions yourselves. There are questions given in the exercise. You can answer those questions yourself, and if you want any kind of help from me regarding this lesson, you can write in the comment box so that I can provide you the solutions of your queries. And if you have liked this lesson, then I would request you to like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel Principal Rasikota, and press the notification bell button so that you receive the notifications of the coming lessons as soon as